All right, I hope everybody's doing well. This morning I'm here with Brittny and Syrian. This is Jamie, and we're just gonna visit a little bit about Brittny's lifestyle. I thought it was so interesting when we met. We're up here in the Colorado mountains. We've been here for a couple of days at a gathering of folks that live the traveling lifestyle. Lifestyle over luxury, I think, was the theme of the event. It's been great. Temperatures are starting to cool. If you're watching this, you know, down the road from now, it's late August 2016, and we're just starting to see the leaves change. And so as Brittny was heading out, I was able to grab her really quickly for a minute. She was nice enough to stop her packing and visit. So what I think is so unique about Brittny is that she travels on the road with her son, a toddler, does it full time. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Cool. Well, my journey actually started about 3 years ago, and it stemmed from a weight loss in college. I lost over 120 pounds, which really was from a good workout regimen. I hadn't really become conscious of healthy eating yet, what that really meant. But I soon found after the weight loss that I was struggling with new addictions, and I couldn't understand why I was so restless and couldn't achieve that inner peace. And a couple years later, when I was pregnant with my son, my intuition really called me to simplify my life. I got out of the house I was renting, I sold everything I had, and I went and lived in the Arizona wilderness for the remainder of my pregnancy. And during that time, being out in nature, it really helped heal me on an emotional level. It got me out of the distractions of society and got me on a completely new life path. And I would say that the thing I missed the most when I was out in nature was community. And the only thing I was spending money on was gas and food. So that inspired me to, after my son was born, to begin wanting to experience what communities are out here on the planet right now, what positive things people are creating to make a better world that's more in tune with nature, that's giving back to the planet, and having support for each other. So that kind of inspired my journey. And for the past 3 years, we've been exploring all over the country, visiting these eco-villages and helping out on farms.
What are eco-villages?
Eco-villages, or intentional communities, they are kind of all uniquely different, but they're a group of people that live together for a common purpose on the land, and they live more sustainably, kind of building houses like earthships, homes made out of cob. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Absolutely, yeah. I have. They're really cool.
Super
inexpensive,
cool.
A lot of insulation.
Yep. So kind of off the grid, but it's just like a group of people that live together. They're growing food. They have support for each other. Yeah, they're really interesting.
So almost their own little economy, you might say.
Yes.
So if there are folks watching this that may have a young child and they're thinking about a traveling lifestyle, what advice would you give them as far as how you manage having a child on the road?
Well, I just want to first just say that there's a lot of community support out there. I recommend checking out WWOOFing, which is WWOOF.org, I believe.
Okay.
And you can help out on organic farms. Your children will be around great people. They're going to be learning good skills. So it's a cool way to and these farms and this network of them are all over the country. There's overwhelming amounts of them. So it's a cool way to reach out and be able to travel places and not have to pay to be there. And so your kids and yourself are learning good skills. Also these intentional communities. IC.org. There's a directory of communities out there as well.
The letter I, the letter C.org?
Yes,
okay.
IC.org. And you can kind of filter through which communities you would like to visit. Yeah, I think visiting these communities and these organic farms that are out there are very helpful, and it's just a great experience, and it's a way to travel where you're not having to spend a lot of money, and you and your children are learning great skills.
Kid friendly.
Very kid friendly. Yeah.
What's going to happen when he's ready for school? How are you going to address that?
Well, the main inspiration for my traveling now is I want to keep learning skills on how people are building community, and I hope to eventually establish that myself, or I will establish something like that myself. So I would like to do homeschooling and a lot of nature school and learning how to farm and herbs along with academics. So we have 2 years until he's at school age. So I feel that will manifest as it needs to.
So there's already avenues in place for you to be able to slide him right into a situation that complements this lifestyle.
Totally. And there's been there's some of the schools or the communities that we've visited so far have had great children programs in structure where the kids are absolutely thriving. They love both being there and learning what they're learning. It's amazing.
You talked about when you first set out to do this, you basically, your main costs were food and gas. How did you pay for your food and gas? How do you do it now?
Well, when I first started, when I was pregnant, I had all the money from selling like my motorcycle that I had and everything out of my house. I currently have my first book published, which is called Diary of a Starseed, and it's my own personal journal of starting right after the weight loss and feeling that confusion, and to my intuition calling me out into the wilderness and that experience. So now I help sell these books, and that helps fund.
What person would be interested in this book? Just somebody that maybe wants to go through a similar journey, whether it's weight loss or just some other time they're going through?
I think all human beings can really benefit from the story, because there's a lot of fear and doom and gloom put out there right now. And I feel like this is actually a very positive, empowering time to be alive on the planet. And there's a lot of beautiful people coming together, creating new things. And this story just really shows that no matter what you've gone through, you can really transform and heal yourself. And I think it's really special for women, especially women who want to have a home birth. I cover that in this as well.
Okay. How do they get the book if somebody wants to read it?
So my website is starseedstory.com. It's also available on Amazon. So you would just search Diary of a Starseed.
Will you sign it for folks if they ask?
Yes, yep. I have they can order it through Etsy, and that would get you a signed copy.
Okay, well how does Etsy, how do they find you on Etsy?
So if you go to my website, there's the option there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see, this is how you help finance in addition to the woofing and whatnot.
And then also on my website I have a blog, so I'm covering different really cool articles on the farms and intentional communities that we visited already. So there's lots of information on how people are building these communities, what they're doing there, and
Would you mind giving us a peek inside your van and seeing how you have it set up?
Yeah, I would love
All right,
to.
let's take a look.
Okay.
So just very simple, very functional. How long have you had this vehicle?
So I got this van a year ago. We started up in northern Washington.
Okay.
And drove all the way down through Oregon and California. Now currently here in Colorado. But as a mama, I find this Dodge Caravan super awesome because all the seats fold down into the floorboard.
Right.
And then we have our bed here. Got like my cooking supplies, basic food. I recently just invested in one of those like top luggage carrier things.
Oh yeah, let's get a picture of that. That looks like you got it from Sears.
I actually got it on Craigslist for $50, which is
$50?
awesome,
That's
right?
crazy.
I know. So that was an awesome find, and so extra like shower stuff, towels, you know, some basic things go up there, and that way we just have our bed ready all the time, so whenever I need to pull off the road, we can go down and have our bed ready and not have to shuffle around.
So what is a typical, say, a week or a month like for you? Do you like to stay in one basic area for a while, or do you like to travel and stay on the move?
So I definitely like to travel and stay on the move. I kind of like to go with the seasons. But I normally spend about 2 weeks on a woofing farm and a few days at communities. And then I like to take time and recharge with my son out in nature and kind of like regroup. So I honestly don't mind going to campgrounds. I've done a lot of like the free dispersed camping, which is nice. It's cool to have that solo time. But I like going to campgrounds with my son because I can socialize with other families and my child can have kids to play with. And it's just really, really good for them to like be outside of walls and just be playing together. So I really enjoy campgrounds for that reason.
How about internet when you're on the road? What do you do for that?
Okay, so I recently did add like a Wi-Fi hotspot to like for my laptop. I was strictly just having it on my phone, but because I do blog articles and YouTube videos, cafes, I would go to cafes for like free Wi-Fi, and that was a little tricky with the toddler because he wants to run around. So I did invest in one of like the hotspot things and added that to my phone plan. So when I need to upload, I'll use that really quick.
Do you mind talking about what brand it is and if somebody wanted to look into it too?
Yeah, it's called a Jetpack, and it's through Verizon, and you can get like different data plans. I have like a very basic one because I just use it really quickly to upload.
So what's a basic plan? 5 gigs a month or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's okay. So what about mail? When you need to send a book out or pick up packages, how do you manage that?
Well, if I usually know where I'm headed to, like if I'm going to be somewhere for a while, like I just visited my sister in Denver, so grateful for her. I ordered some new books and I had them shipped to her house, and so when I got there, they were there and we were able to pick them up.
So you just work it out as you go.
Yeah,
different circumstances for different situations, but you always get it done in the end. It's nothing to worry about or use as an excuse not to live a traveling lifestyle.
Right, exactly. You can make it happen. And I want to say to women out there who might be nervous to travel, especially on your own or with children, I was nervous about that too. I did have a partner traveling with me for a while, and I was always nervous that I couldn't travel without like a male companion. And this past year, I have found like so much support and love from just people. Like we go to campgrounds and moms will come up to me and be like, here's our number, if you ever need a place to stay, we're here for you. And it's just really wonderful to see that you can travel on your own as a woman, and I've always felt very safe and protected, and I just don't want fear to be a reason why people don't go out and live this type of lifestyle. Okay, another cool tip if you're out traveling, you can find local farmers markets and go up and talk to the farmers. They usually always need a lot of help, and they'll have places for you to like set up your tent, your camp, and it's a really cool way to meet down-to-earth people, and they'll usually provide you with food, and you get to learn a lot of cool skills. So there's urban farms, there's farms that are out in the country, so you can have a mix of both, which is really neat to experience. Your intuition is your best friend while traveling. There's been a couple times I've gone to campgrounds or certain areas where I was kind of like, I don't know if I feel that good here. You'll get that gut feeling. And then I've gone somewhere else and I've made a magical connection. So I just really want people to remember their intuition is like their best guide while traveling and in life in general. But
absolutely.
Yeah, use your intuition. I think too, if you're traveling with children, eating a clean diet is really important, and putting away the video games and distractions and really letting them explore nature and taking you on adventures. I think that is just crucial. I've seen my son just develop so much because he has spent so much of his life out in the wilderness. Like even when he was learning how to walk, we'd be out on the trails and he's like crawling over boulders and tree branches and walking through streams, and I've just seen how that's really, really benefited him. So I think the more we get our children out exploring the wild, the better. It's huge.
So in conclusion, if you're a single person and you have a child, it does not have to be a situation that ties you to the grid or ties you to one location while that child is in school. You're evidence of that.
Yeah.
So that's no reason to be a barrier to anyone.
No. Lots of support out there, and it's only growing, so that's really exciting.
Well, awesome, Brittny. Thank you very much for taking some time out of your packing up and heading out time to visit with us and impart your story to others. And hopefully we'll meet up again.
Sounds good. Thank you.
See ya.
Cut it down the middle, open